Welcome to the TMYK show. I am your host, Mike, better known as Mo. Here's where you get the truth uncut. Here we're going to take a trip down memory lane and look at a part of an episode of The View where Bernie Sanders was on during our last shutdown. So we're going to see some things that he said. Let me give you a little bit about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is a senator of Vermont. He's been a senator since 2007. Bernie Sanders makes $174,000 a year. Bernie Sanders is worth over $2 million. So we're going to look at him. We're going to look at how he dealt with them during this first shutdown and some things that he spoke on. And I think you're going to find it very interesting. If you like our content, if you really enjoy what we bring to you, please like, subscribe, and share. Now let's get into this.
Actually, the Democratic Party was pretty clear. It stood with the working class of this country.
Right.
And we need the Democratic Party once again to say to their billionaire friends, thank you, and their corporate sponsors, thank you. We're going to stand with the working class of this country, and we're going to address the reality that today, 60% of our people in the richest country in the history of the world will be, when the billionaires are doing phenomenally well, 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. I grew up in a family. I know something about that. Sure you did as well.
Yeah.
All right? People can't afford health care. They can't afford child care.
Did Bernie Sanders just allude that the Democrats had forsaken the working class for the billionaires, and now he's encouraging them to get back to the working class? Looks like the Republicans are taking over that. Republicans are now with the working class. They can stay with the billionaires. They want you to think that the Republicans are with the billionaires, but Bernie Sanders here just told you who has been standing with the billionaires.
The housing costs are off the charts. You can't afford decent quality food for your kids. Am I right?
True.
All right. And the Democrats have got to say, you know what? We're going to stand with the working class. For example, health care is a human right, not a privilege.
And just for you all to know, they use this all the time about health care as a human right. He's right. Do you know by law of this country, no one can be turned down by a medical facility, period? No one who need medical care, whether they have insurance or not, they cannot, by law, be turned away by a medical facility, period. Especially if it's an emergency. And they have free facilities for those who need extended care. But they want you to think it's all about insurance policies, about Medicare, things of that nature. It's not about that when it comes to health care. It is there, readily available for all. No matter what your status is, it is there for you. Period.
So, Senator, we're now on day 20 of the government shutdown. And the longer this goes on, it seems to play into the president's hands as he wants to continue firing federal workers, and he is defunding Democratic priorities and shrinking the government long term. Now, Majority Leader Thune has offered Democrats a vote to extend Obamacare subsidies if they just agree to end the shutdown. Are you on board with that just to get this over with?
No, because that would not get it over with. I want to see the shutdown ended tomorrow. Got a lot of good, decent, hardworking federal employees not getting their paychecks. That is not right. But I want to explain to everybody really what's at stake, because I don't know that people are clear about it. As a result of Trump's big, beautiful bill, which to my mind was one of the worst pieces of legislation passed in modern history, this is what is going to happen. 15 million low-income and working-class Americans are going to lose their health insurance.
And I want you to remember this. He said, she asked him about the shutdown. She asked him about getting the people's paychecks back to them. The shutdown caused people to not get paid. Remember what he said about those people that this shutdown is affecting. Just remember that. Remember that as he continues here.
Studies indicate that when you take away health insurance for so many people, you know what happens? 50,000 people will die unnecessarily every single year. 50,000 of our fellow Americans. And then on top of that, and people are now in Vermont and around the country getting their notices from insurance companies.
Right.
In my state of Vermont, people are getting notices that their premiums, which are now outrageously high, are going to triple, in some cases quadruple, on average nationally double. Why did Trump and the Republicans do this? In order to pay for a $1 trillion tax break for the 1%.
First off, if they're getting those notices, it's due to Obamacare. Go do your research, people. It is due to Obamacare. It has nothing to do with anything that Trump has done or the Republicans. It is all due to Obamacare. That is why these premiums are going up at the rate that they are, due to Obamacare. And to show you how they gaslight. How does he know 50,000 people is going to die yearly under Trump's plans? How does he know that? What does he have concrete? But this is what they call gaslighting, fear mongering. This is ridiculous what these people do. And he's an independent.
Mr. Musk and Mr. Bezos and all of these multi-billionaires. So in good conscience, to answer your question, I cannot go back to the people in Vermont or any place else in this country and say, I'm going to vote to allow 50,000 of our fellow Americans
But even
to
if
die.
they offer to vote on that
The
separately.
vote doesn't mean anything. The vote doesn't mean anything. You're going to have a vote, so the vote loses. You can have a vote even if it wins the House. You know where the House is right
Even
now?
though the majority of Americans do want these subsidies extended.
Overwhelming majority,
Yes.
Republicans and Democrats. That's the point. What I am talking about, you tell me, am I wrong in saying that the overwhelming majority of Americans, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, do not think it's a great idea to give tax breaks to billionaires and throw 15 million people off the health care they have?
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But what do you see as the end game then?
The end game is...
But you see what he did? She talked about them wanting things extended, them wanting to get paid. And he's saying, I'd rather for you to miss your paycheck because I'm concerned about something that we have no concrete evidence is going to happen. No concrete evidence. But I'd rather for you to miss your pay. What? So that the Republicans will have to do something to honor our wishes, which is a bunch of crock. Okay? Let's keep going.
Look, Trump may be crazy, and he may be a liar, and he may do, you describe, I mean, hard to imagine a president, I mean, I don't know what world these guys are living in. President of the United States dropping feces on an American city.
Right.
All right, they may be all of those things, but this is what they are.
He's talking about a meme. He's using a meme. They talk about Donald Trump. They had the King rally. They say he's Hitler. They say all of these things are horrendous things. He's a child molester. But here it is, a meme comes up with Donald Trump driving over a city and dropping poop on all the Democrats. He thinks that is an argument to make when you got people that can't pay their bills. And he thinks that a meme of this nature is something worth bringing up when you got people that could be losing their homes, their cars, not being able to feed their families because the Democrats have an agenda and they're using the welfare of the American people in order to try to get their wish list fulfilled that will not benefit us as American citizens at all.
They're not stupid. And they are good politicians. And they're going to look at, if you think why do you think the Republicans are hiding out right now?
Yeah.
Mike Johnson, the speaker, has given them, I got in their 5th week of vacation. They're not coming to work. You want to negotiate? They ain't there. All right. So I think that when people all over this country are looking at these notices and say, I can't pay a doubling of my health insurance premiums,
Right.
Republicans will understand that and come to the table.
Do you know what would
there's
be
a-
powerful,
I'm
though,
just-
is if
hold on-
Congress
hold on
didn't
one
take their
second.
money while they were waiting? Because right now, it's hard to imagine it's incentivized. It's easier for the politicians in D.C. to go away from each other and say, we will win this way, while people are losing their paychecks. If Congress just said, we're not going to take our paychecks till we figure this out, that would be a noble step in the right direction, I would
think
say.
that's not everybody can afford to do. You got some young people there with kids.
Either can the people that aren't getting paid, though.
Did you catch that? He don't care about the citizens. He's talking about people in Congress. They can't afford to miss a check. You see how he just separated the citizens of America from those who we've elected to sit in these positions of Congress? He has put those people above the average American citizens in order to what? To get their agenda pushed through.
I think
And
that's
there's
a
a
fair
holdout.
point. I
Yeah.
think that's a fair point. But what's also a fair point is nobody I know in America can afford a doubling of their health insurance premiums.
There's at least 2 Republicans in the House who've come out in favor of extending Obamacare
Yep.
subsidies for 1 year. Mike Lawler and Marjorie
At
Taylor
least
Greene.
1 year.
More, actually, they're more than that. I think.
So
they're-
it could potentially pass the House.
I think. Look, here's.
Can you believe you're on the same side as
As
Marjorie,
Marjorie
Taylor
Taylor
Greene?
Greene.
No, right, but
Yeah.
yeah, she has kids and she understands the
Yeah,
reality.
yes,
They can't
exactly.
afford health care.
Yep.
You said you referred to her as one of the good Republicans.
Well, in this is
Right
what
now.
concerns me. I mean, aside from everything else that we're talking about, it is very natural that if you have a Democratic president, Democrats will be largely supportive. Republicans, same thing. But under Trump, it's a little bit different. What you really have now is almost a cult of the individual, where Republicans, with very few exceptions, who are prepared to stay up. Well, you know, Mr. President, I represent my district. I don't work for you. I represent my people. And you're wrong. Very few Republicans are willing to do that. And the reason is that the day they do that, billionaires, the Musks of the world will say, we're going to primary you. We have unlimited amounts of money. We're going to defeat you.
But the most interesting thing is that all of these primaries depend not on them, but on you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And there you go. And she said it right at the end. Whoopies, if she said nothing else right. Come November, it is up to you to go and vote. Let me give you a little bit about Bernie Sanders. As I already told you, that he's worth over $2 million. He's been a senator since 2007 of Vermont, and he makes $174,000 a year. Bernie Sanders also ran for president in 16 and in 20. He ran against Hillary Clinton, and he ran against, can't even think of his name, ain't that nothing? Biden. He ran against both of them. If you go back and look, do you know they both cheated him? He should have been the candidate to go up against Donald Trump both times, and they cheated him. And this guy is still beholden to the Democratic Party and this agenda that they have that is against this country and the American people. But I just wanted you to see that, how he and his cronies are not concerned about the American citizens at all. They're only worried about what they can do to make sure they stay in power and control of the money. If you all have enjoyed this and you'd like to see more, please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, love you and love one another and be kind to each other. Peace.